All right. Well, I am live. I was her. It is now. Time is here. I'm on YouTube, y'all. And so I want to let you guys know I'm talking to both my YouTube and my Instagram at the same time. So, y'all on Instagram, you have like a minute and I'm getting off now. But my YouTube, I'm about to put the link in to go to my page. I am live now as we speak. Um, and so if you guys are interested in watching, well, not even if you're interested, y'all need to come and watch this Sam. You know what I'm saying? Um, y'all gotta come and watch Sam on this daggone show, you know. So anyway, I'm putting the link in now. Y'all gotta excuse me because my nails are just in the way of my greatness. But nonetheless, I'm live now on YouTube. So the link is down there. That is the link to my YouTube channel. Come and watch me now. I am on live now and I'm about to start answering questions. So you guys that are on, all 87 of y'all, 86 of y'all, 80 whatever of y'all need to come and watch me on my YouTube channel now. I hope y'all are good. Hey, I don't know who said Sammy, but hey, what's going on with you then? I love you guys. I'm ready to start the show. So let's go. I am ready to go. Again, I was her on YouTube. I'm live now. About to answer my first question. See you later. I'm about to put this on my thing. But anyway, guys, how are y'all? How's everybody doing tonight? I am so excited to see you guys. I am definitely ready for I Was Her. I'm ready to talk with you guys about some of the stuff that I've seen. Hey, Shay, what's going on? I see April in the building. I say Julie in the building. I say Julissa in the building. I see Hope. I see all my little power up sisters up in here. It's great to see y'all. It's great to see y'all on this beautiful Thursday afternoon. It's such a beautiful day here in Atlanta, y'all. I love Atlanta. I'm doing well, y'all. I'm doing well. I'm actually doing great. I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm doing great. Life has been very good. I've been eating good this week, y'all. I haven't been eating bad. I haven't cheated on my diet or nothing. So I'm really excited about that. But nonetheless, I'm really excited to see you guys. So I'm happy that you guys I'm gonna just put live on. I'm not even gonna live on YouTube now. YouTube now. Um, Go to my link in bio. Okay, link in bio. So anyway, y'all. So I'm so happy to see you guys. Thank you guys for coming in and turning up with me, and not really turning up, but this is like mama turn up where I got my little glass of wine. Who got their glasses of wine? I'm asking you guys who got their glass of wine. And yes, y'all, I'm ready to answer some questions. So I think you guys, if you are ready for me to answer questions, and you guys have your glass of wine, well then cheers. Here we are. Episode 10. Episode 10 of I Was Her. Thank you guys for supporting me. Like, it has been a journey. It's actually not that easy to start a YouTube channel. I don't care if you have a following or not. So for you guys to like come on and do this every week with me and really make it what it is, I just appreciate y'all on such a different level. Like, y'all don't even know. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And so here we are, episode 10 of I Was Her, and it gets better and better and better every week. So I thank y'all so much. Cheers to you guys. Cheers to the people that are watching, supporting. I love y'all. And I'm going to answer y'all questions, okay? Answer y'all questions. Preface this right here. I'm going to start this off like this, y'all. So let me take a glass of wine. Um, you guys, I am on here being transparent about my journey as a woman. And I'm not going to get in the way of, like, I'm honest. I'm going to be transparent about it. That's just where I'm at with it. But y'all, please refrain from asking me about my ex. I can't explain what's going on. I don't know what's going on. I'm not with that person. So at this point in time, you asking me questions, you asking somebody who literally don't know. We're going through a divorce. So at this point in time, which we've already been open about, going through a divorce, and you know, he's doing his thing. And so, y'all, the questions, I respect everybody asking me and wondering what's going on and if, whatever, but I don't know. I really don't. We're moving on. Like I'm moving on, he's moving on. So, we gotta respect that. And so just pray for him, honestly. Just pray for him. Just pray for us both. Divorce isn't easy on anybody. It's not easy for anybody. It's not easy for myself. It's not easy for anybody that I've known that's gone through it. So you got to have compassion and love while somebody's going through, like we're going through something. You just have to have compassion and understand, like, it's not an easy process, for neither one of us. So, like, have some grace, y'all. Just have some grace. I mean, it is hard. It is hard. And it's hard. Yeah, it's hard. Divorce ain't easy. It ain't easy. And it's emotional, and it's and it does bring out things in people, so I would just say, like, you just got to pray for us, because it's a family that's separating. Sometimes I read y'all comments and I'm like, y'all, like, dang, like, what did I do to you? Like, this is, I'm it's not that far removed, you know. I'm not that far removed. This is somebody that, I care about, and I wish him the very best. And when things come out about him, I care about him. I don't want anything bad to happen to him. So, just be mindful of that, even with him. Like, probably if you mentioning things to me, I'm sure it hurts him too, or more, because this is not easy for anybody. It's just not, and we're moving on. So I just want to let you guys know. I just want to let you guys know that, and just to be respectful, that I'm not going to answer questions as it relates to that. Just period, out of respect. But I'm not going to block you. I'm not going to block you. I'm not going to block people from being able to be on here. I'm just letting you know straight up from the jump, I'm not answering those questions. Okay? So, moving along. And in addition to that, let me go ahead and answer some of these questions, because y'all had some good ones this week. Some of y'all answered the questions afterwards. So I'm going to go ahead and go for the first one. Okay. Here's number one. I don't think it's a question, more of what's your opinion and how would you handle this? So on more than one occasion, an individual has been in a situation where their man has eaten off all of a particular food item and not left any for them. I personally think that's wrong, and that the individual should have at least left some for the other person, or at least asked if they could have it all. Initially, I wasn't going to say nothing, but I hear them tell me it's happened on more than over 10 occasions. I think something should be said and done. What are your thoughts, and what would you say? If you guys want to send me questions, it's in my Instagram. Just go ahead and DM me. Start the DM with star, I was her star, and I'll answer those questions. Okay, so anyway, this question, it sounds like okay, so your issue is that somebody is eating food that you don't want them to eat, and it's happened more than once, and you're frustrated. All you can really do is communicate. And if this person is not respecting your word about your food, because I feel serious about my food as well. My food is I love to eat, y'all. I'm about that eating life. So if you're gonna eat my food, we've got a problem. Okay. Houston, we have a problem. But what I will say though is that that's not a major issue, sis. That's not a like a breakup. This is a real issue. It's like, if this person is not respecting you, like the food, then you may not need to bring that food home. Like, do you work somewhere where you can put that food in the refrigerator? Or is it a food that needs to be in a refrigerator? Maybe it could be, you could hide it somewhere. Like, I mean, I don't know, but you just go ahead. When it comes to food, sis, You got to choose your battles. Like, that's number one. You got to choose your battles. Food, yes, is an offense, and it can be very much a hard offense. But at the end of the day, it's not the worst thing in the world for somebody to be eating your food. Maybe that food, if it's that appetizing, might not be the best for you. So look at it like God helping you get to your body goals. That's what I'm saying. Maybe God is helping you get to your body goals, and so that food magically disappear, and that's why it's not happening. So I'm just trying to find the light in it, because really, sis, as important food is, and I would communicate that I don't like it. If that person if that person is not respecting my word on it, then I would have to take it. I would have to either hide the food, not bring it home, or just make, just become okay with the fact that this person's going to eat it. And it may be better for that person to eat it for me than me eat it, because it's bad for me. So, yeah. Oh, somebody said put some laxatives in your food so they won't eat it again. But I'm gonna move on to the next question. But I hope that helped. But again, y'all, when it comes to marriage, this is a marriage situation. When it comes to marriage, there are bigger fish to fry. There are way bigger fish to fry than and let me make sure I'm on the right. Okay, good. We're on the right Wi-Fi. There are way bigger fish to fry than the person eating your food. Because, girl, that is like every married woman in the world, or kids, if you have children that eat your food. Like, Soraya eats my food constantly. Like, it's just something that is what it is. So you just gotta exercise some grace. You know what I'm saying? You gotta exercise some grace. So yeah. All right. So next question. Hello, Samantha. I have a question. I met an amazing man. We started dating about a month ago, and we decided to make things official. But I have a huge trust problem because I've been hurt so bad in my past relationship. He hasn't done anything bad to me. It's just a feeling that I keep getting that's making me not. Blah. He hasn't done anything bad to me. It's just a feeling I keep getting that's making me not believe if he's not believe if he's not talking to other females because we met on a dating site. I cut things off out of the blue because I'm scared of being hurt. Do you think I'm overreacting? Please help. Yes, I absolutely think that you're overreacting, because you really are jumping from A to Z, sis. You're overreacting. You overthought everything. In this situation, all you had was that the fact that y'all met on a dating site, and you just don't believe that he's not talking to other women, but you have no proof, you have no evidence, nothing. You just jumped to the next conclusion and cut off a guy that might have been might have been a great person, because you met on a dating site, and so you assume he's dating other people. No, you're not right. I ain't gonna listen. I'm not gonna hold any, I understand being jaded. But in this situation, you literally cut somebody off because you assumed they were talking to other people, even though you had no proof. The only thing you had was the fact that they had been on dating sites, and you met them on a dating site. Yeah, that could be a sign, but you jumping from A to Z. You're gonna have to reel that thing back. Reel it back. And understand that, I understand being jaded. I understand going through a lot. Shoot, I done been through a lot, but you cut somebody off and really cut your chances now if you decide to go back and be like, I apologize for what I did. I'm jaded, blah, blah, blah. Now this person can't trust you because he feels like, okay, she's all over the place. What you really need to do is where I'm going to go with this. You may need to go to therapy. If really just meetings, and you don't need to be on dating sites, because everybody that you meet on a dating site, you assuming that you would then assume that they're cheating on you because they're on a dating site. You either have to not meet people on dating sites, or get comfortable and understand that you can't. You got to give somebody the ability to hurt you. It's vulnerability. If you are dating somebody, there is vulnerability. There's vulnerability. So when you're vulnerable, you're going to risk in love, in life. You're going to have to risk. They're taking a risk in all things. And so when you're taking a risk, you're risking getting hurt, but you're going to be okay. You've always been okay. You've been able to get through other heartbreaks, clearly. So you can't allow your insecurities to get this far. You're like self-sabotaging on the highest level. You're not even allowing yourself to enjoy the relationship. You've overthought this thing to the degree that you cut him off before you had any reason to cut him off. You self-sabotage. And if you're at that level of trauma and stuff, you have to start getting therapy. You have to start doing your work, because if not, you're gonna there's no point in looking for no relationship, because in every relationship you're gonna have an opportunity to get hurt. You are. Any relationship, you're gonna get hurt. There's always a possibility. So with these other issues that you have that are coming up, that are getting in the way of you being able to really engage in a meaningful relationship with somebody else, you're gonna have to exit stage left. I mean, you might need to get off the dating scene and really work on yourself and really heal in those areas, because if you're feeling that way and y'all ain't even in a relationship yet, like even if he was, like, I don't think y'all was in a relationship, like even if he was talking to other women, like, oh, and we decided to make things official. Okay, so y'all didn't make it official. All right, at least you made it official. But if he decided to make it official, then you broke it off after a month, sis, no, that means you need to get some healing. I don't know what happened to you in the past, but you may not be ready for dating. If you that triggered, you may need to go ahead and if you listen, if you go into your next situation, still talking about your last situation, and that last situation triggers you to the point of depression or sadness, you ain't over that. You got to do your work. You got to go backwards. If you're still talking about your last situation with your new situation, you ain't over it. You're not. You haven't worked through that healing. So anybody that talks to me about relationships and like, oh, well, my ex, no. When you start talking about your ex to me and you in a whole new relationship with me, and I'm hearing about your ex a lot, that means you haven't really let go of your ex. That means you probably shouldn't be dating me. That means you probably need to do your healing, and I need to go elsewhere, because that last chapter hasn't ended for you. And I might be plan B. I might be the rebound relationship. I might be the person that you trying to get over the last relationship with me, because you still talking about the last relationship to me. I'm just keeping it 100, y'all. I'm just keeping it 100. And that's not a real way to get over anybody, by just moving on to the next. That is not a real way. That is a band-aid. And guess what? Those band-aids, they come off. They sure do. They come off. And you may end up hurting somebody else unintentionally, causing them trauma because you haven't worked through your own trauma. And now you're traumatizing somebody that didn't have that trauma to not trust the next person because you didn't do your healing first. So don't be irresponsible, y'all. Don't be irresponsible. Don't be irresponsible. Don't run into the next thing when you haven't healed from the last thing, just because you don't, like being alone. That's irresponsible. Mm-hmm. It sounds like that's what the situation was, sis. You hadn't really done your healing yet. Mm-hmm. How to handle a 5 years gap relationship. I'm gonna need a little bit more information on this one. A 5 years gap relationship. A 5 years gap relationship. 5 years gap relationship. I don't know how to answer that one. Sam, can you share your life on a daily basis? Things you do from wake up to bedtime. I've actually heard that on YouTube. Like I need to do that more. Like show my life for it to be successful and to grow. You've got to show more of your life. I'm inherently kind of like a private person. I don't really like putting myself out there like that. I mean, in certain instances, like I love this. I love to answer questions. I love advice. I love relationships. I love talking about it. But when it comes to like when it comes to certain things, like I'm just not good at putting myself out there. So maybe with time I'll get more comfortable. But right now, like, I'm growing. I'm gonna get better, y'all. I'm gonna get better. And plus I have a lot of things in the fire. Like I got a lot of things I'm juggling at the same time. So, but I will do better in the department of sharing more of myself, so Let me see. Okay. Okay, let me do this. So somebody said they DM me, so I'm gonna look at the DM. Okay, here we go. Hi, Sam. I've recently ended things with a guy that I thought would be different. I've only been in 2 relationships in my life, and I just feel like men are all good, etc. I'm also struggling because I've recently been diagnosed with bipolar 1 and started meds. How do I get closer to God? Love, Jen. Well, number one, Jen, what I do like about what you're saying here is that A, you're addressing your mental health issues. That's big. Bipolar 1 is very good to get on a mood stabilizer, get into regular therapy. Don't just take medication. Be in a therapeutic relationship with somebody. People think that they take a pill and then that's it. No, with mental health, you treat it. You take a pill, also therapy. So do both of those things to really get that more under control. And medication, it takes a minute, so just be patient with that as well. And the first pill you take might not be the best. That might not be your answer right away. So just know that as well. You know, your body reacts to medication differently. That's just what it is with mental health medication. So just be patient with the process, you know. But I love that you are being responsible, and I love that you're addressing it. So number one, love that, sis. I'm going to keep going with that. Number 2, I've only been in 2 relationships. I'm in always doing one. Well, since you've only been in 2 relationships, girl, the first two relationships I ever been in my life, I was done wrong. Okay, first 2 relationships in my first 3 or 4, actually 3 relationships in my life, I was done wrong. So you have to understand, being young in relationships, the potential to getting hurt is just what it is. And so you have to understand that, you know, love and being in relationships and being in situationships, anything that you're investing in, you are good. The potential to getting hurt is there. It is there. You have to understand. And 26 is not a big deal. 26 is young, sis. That ain't that old to me. You talking to somebody who's 31. You know, I turned 32 this year, so that's young to me. When I was 26 years old, I wasn't ready for no relationship. I was still out here playing. You know, so I'm just saying, maybe just here's what I will say to you. I would say, number one, let's focus on getting yourself together first. So let's focus on getting things under control. You just started your medication, you're in therapy, you're getting yourself together. So that's number one. Let's focus on that first. The relationships come later. You have to do your healing first before you can focus on relationships. You won't necessarily attract what you want if you're not whole first. If you're not whole, you're not going to attract whole. If you're not where you need to be, you're not going to attract where you need to be. So you have to start working on the internal so that you attract what you want on the external. If you ain't together on the inside, if everything's a mess and jumbled up on the inside, then you are not going to attract that on the other side. So you've got to, right now, sis, your overall goal, if a dude comes along, that's great. But you're not going to attract good men that have everything together when you don't have everything together. You're going to have to get yourself together. Focus this energy and this season and this time on what benefits you. What is going to make you better? How are you going to expand as a woman? How are you going to become a stronger, independent person? So you've just got to be able to understand that about yourself and really work on you. That's what you should do at this time. Just focus on you, get everything under control, start your therapy, start doing your thing, really focus on bettering yourself and understanding yourself on a whole new level. After that, then we can start talking about relationships. But right now, let's focus on you. So that's number one. And number two, I think. And dating tips. I don't think you should date yet. I think you should just chill. I think you should have a good time. I'm not going to say that, but I don't think you should seriously date anybody right now. I think you need to focus on getting yourself at 100% and then go into dating. Because like I said before, your healing is your responsibility. And if you're dealing with certain things and you're coming out of really bad relationships and you feel like you've been done wrong and somebody has done you wrong and they're not holding up their end of the bargain, and that causes insecurity that didn't come from the person you about to start dating. And so now you're going to start treating them like the last person when they're not the last person, and you may sabotage that last relationship because you haven't worked through the relationships before. I know that was a lot to say, but that's what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is really work on you. Focus on you right now. Don't even worry about no relationship. Relationships, you got your whole life for a relationship. Trust me on that. You got your whole life to be tied down to somebody. But while you young and while you in your 20s and while you getting yourself together, sis, focus on that and then get into the rest of the stuff. You got to do your work. It's very important for you to do your work. Okay? And fall in love with yourself first. Fall in love with yourself first. Because let me tell you something, a lot of the stuff that we deal with, some of the stuff that you already said you dealt with, already tells me you don't feel like you're worthy. Already tells me you're dealing with esteem issues. That's what I already can read from this. And I'm sure if you're doing things for a man that you know you shouldn't be doing, then I can read that from that. So what you have to do is really focus on you and bettering yourself. That's number one. And getting closer to God. Now, girl, that's the easy one. Getting closer to God is a process, but it's not a process because it's a spiritual thing. Our bodies are craving a relationship with God. That's how I feel. I feel like our bodies crave it. We crave that fulfillment. We crave that. And so what I would say is the first thing I would do is recognizing the need that you have a relationship with God. And number two, I would say you get on wherever that is, whatever wall you have, wherever you're going to pray and have this time with God, make sure that you go in front of him and you surrender and you say, listen, God, I want to do this with you. I don't want to do this with anybody else but you, but prepare yourself because the enemy is always watching, y'all. He's always watching. He's ready for those moments. He's ready. When you take a step in the right direction, he's going to give you every reason to go in the wrong. And so understand that when you get closer to God, things get a little harder. When you get a little closer, things get a little harder. Temptation starts to happen. You start to dwell on hurt and things like that. So you start get into that prayer mode, start preparing for warfare, but really surrender yourself to God. Have that moment like, Jesus, I can't walk this walk without you. I believe that you died on the cross for my sins. I believe that you are my savior. I believe that you are my only way to heaven, God. And I know that I can't do it in my own strength. So Jesus, right now, in the name of Jesus, please save me, God. Save me. Save me. I want your salvation. I need your salvation for this life to make sense and for my afterlife to make sense. On the other side of that, you start walking, and I would say get involved with a church. Start getting involved. If it's not a church, it's a spiritual group that you can grow with, and it can challenge you, and it can help you to grow as whatever religion you decide to be in. I'm a Christian, so I would say, I go into a relationship, a discipleship group, a Bible study, get into devotionals. There's a Bible app, YouVersion Bible app you can get on and start looking up things and really start getting invested in your relationship with God. Relationship with God is an everyday thing. It ain't an every Sunday thing. So if you have to, and for me, it's multiple times a day at this point. I speak to God. He probably tired of me calling him. I call him more than I should. He probably like, okay, Sam, what you calling me about today? But at the end of the day, really, that getting involved with God and getting your relationship with God and getting your therapy relationship with God going on, like that is what you should be focused on right now, sis, honestly, because anything else right now is premature. You're not ready for that. I would based upon what you're saying, you're not ready for that. Let's do one thing. First things first. I think what you're yearning for is a connection with our Savior. You're yearning for a connection with our a connection with that's something that's going to fulfill you, and a relationship ain't gonna do it. So I talked a lot on that one, but I'll move on. So I answered that one. Thank you for writing in, and thank you for being transparent, and good for you, sis, for addressing your mental health. I'm a big proponent for mental health awareness, y'all. I'm a therapist and I do my mental health work. So everybody, we got to take care of ourselves. We got to take care of ourselves. We got to. So anyway, okay. All right. Oh, wow. Okay. I need your advice on a situation. My friend is physically and sexually attracted to her cousin. What should she do about that? Is this her first cousin? This is her first cousin? I need to understand. Wait, is this her first cousin? This is a little disturbing, y'all. Oh, is it second, third? It does make a difference. It does make a difference. I would honestly rebuke that. I will rebuke that spirit, y'all. I will rebuke that spirit. I will rebuke that spirit. That to be physically and sexually attracted to your cousin. I would rebuke that. Rebuke that. Rebuke that. Rebuke that. I will rebuke that. I will rebuke that. I'll pray over your friend and rebuke it. She need to go in and second. That's her second cousin. That's still, girl, she needs to rebuke that. That's something she needs to surrender to the Lord. And she don't never need to act on it. We can feel all kinds of ways. We can feel all kinds of things. Feelings are feelings. Feelings are feelings are feelings. They come and go, they go, they up and they down. Feelings, that don't have nothing to do with nothing. So at the end of the day, you don't need to act on your feelings. You need to go in front of the church or talk. You need to go in front of somebody that can rebuke those things. Shoot, I will rebuke them right now in the name of Jesus. You have the power to rebuke. And so she needs to rebuke. She needs to surrender to her God and let that go. She's going to have to surrender that to the cross, surrender that to her God, whatever God she serves. And she needs to let that go. Just because you got feelings don't mean you need to act on them. She needs to rebuke that, and she needs to completely disassociate herself with that cousin. I mean, I wouldn't even she needs to not even follow him, see him, whatever that is. She needs to she need to rebuke and get that spirit off of her, girl. That's a different kind of spirit. She needs to let that go. I am not chastising her for that. I'm just saying she needs to surrender, because there's a lot of feelings. I gotta surrender things to the cross. Every single day, I got to surrender things to the cross. And so there's feelings that I have that I surrender to the cross every day. I have to. And so there's nothing wrong with feelings. But when they turn them into actions and you allow those feelings to control you and those feelings to turn into something else, that's when you have to do your part. That's when you have got to surrender those things in the ways that you need to surrender them. Okay. So she needs to surrender, rebuke, baptize, do something, and don't even look at her cousin. She need to go somewhere else. If he pops up on her timeline, she need to go the opposite direction. Don't look at him. Go left. Go left. Don't go right, sis. All right, excuse me. Okay. Hi, I want a real relationship built on friendship. How do you build that while not having sex with the person and him not throw you into the friend zone? Great question. I would honestly say that if you look, honestly, y'all, I don't know if y'all watch this, but there's a show called Ready to Love right now that's on, and they are doing it perfectly. They are handling how to not have sex because they don't want to have sex right now. They are being, celibate or whatever, and or abstinent. I still don't understand abstinent and the difference between abstinent and celibate. I'm sorry, y'all, but they're choosing not to have sex. And so they're interacting with people and they're dating and they're being very clear about their intentions. But at the end of the day, they are showing their sexual, like, I'm interested. I'm definitely into doing this and the third. And you're doing whatever you got to do. And the young lady, Desaya, I think your name is Desaya. I will honestly say, before I let that go, before I go on to the Ready to Love and talking about how to date while still being celibate, I would say to you, sis, to tell her just to surrender that. We all have feelings that we struggle with. We all have feelings that isn't what society says that it should be, or society, or whatever, or our spirituality, or whatever moral compass we go by. There are things that we all struggle with. I just think that she needs to surrender that to whatever she needs to surrender that to, and she needs to just disassociate herself from him and not follow him and not feed the attraction. Don't feed the emotion. Don't feed the feeling. She needs to starve the feeling. Starve the feeling. Do not feed it, starve it. That's what I want to say. So anyway, nonetheless, I'm going to move on from that. And she may need to, I don't know what she's, what she necessarily subscribed to as religion. So I'm not going to go into that. But she does need to starve that attraction to her cousin. And that means she needs to not feed it. And she probably knows what that means. Don't feed the attraction. Leave it alone. Leave that thing alone. If that's not where you're supposed to be, if that's not what your society, because somebody said Muslims do Muslims marry their cousins. If that's not a part of your culture, then, and that's actually, it doesn't sound like it is because you're writing me about it. So it must be not a part of your culture. You need to go ahead and yeah, Sam need to drink. Sam need to drink. Sam need to drink on that one. Starve the feeling, starve their attraction, starve it. Anyway, moving along. I'm ready to love. They do it perfectly. So I can explain it, but I will honestly say to you, it is not hopeless to say, hey, I don't want to have sex. I want to do this the right way. I'm really intentionally dating. I want something that's built on, our communication, things like that. And what you'll find is that there was multiple men. There's one very much vocal, but there's been every season, there's been one man or one or two men that are not interested in having sex and wanting to build a connection. And so at the end of the day, if that's the situation, it's not hopeless. And I really think that when you start dating and you want to be intentionally dating, maybe finding a guy that's in a spiritual setting, Christian, maybe find him in church. Maybe you find, he has a strong spiritual background, because men like that definitely feel they want to do those things. They want to be abstinent. They don't want to walk in that. They'll be willing to court you and accept that. I know a lot of men like that. So it's not hopeless. You just got to set your intentions first and just be like, but I want to date. I want to court. I want to get to know you. I just don't want to do this. And I know a woman that was, she didn't have sex for but by the time I had known her, it was like 10 years. And she says she don't even bring it up in dating relationships. She just waits till it comes up, because she feels like people, once they get to know you and can respect your background and who you are, then they can be like, okay, I don't want to, I can wait for this. I can wait on this. So she didn't even bring it up and make it an issue until it came up, and then they made their decision. But she allowed them the opportunity to get to know her first, outside of whether she was going to have sex or not. Because then you put sex on the table, and sex is just not, that she just wanted them to get to know her first. And then when it came up, that's when she brought it up. She didn't lie about it, but she waited till it came up versus talking about it from the jump. So just date, guys. Don't bring up sex. Just allow it to be. Chill, kick it, go to bowling, go top golf, go to these different things. And then just say, like, listen, hey, you know what? When it comes up and he tries you or he says something about it, be like, I'm actually celibate. I'm actually waiting. And you express it. And if he's for it, he's for it. If he's not, he's not. But there are men that are for it. So just know that if you just run across a couple men that are not for it, well, then that's just their loss. They're not the guy for you, But it is going to be hard in today's society to find men that are going to be okay with that. That it is going to be harder. I'm going to keep that 100 with you. It is going to be harder because men want, most men want to have sex. It is what it is. But there are men that don't. That's all I'm saying. I hope that helps, y'all. Okay, so let me see. I think somebody said they wrote me another question. If not, that's fine. Oh, okay, she wrote me. Okay. All right, y'all. So I'm gonna go back to what I was doing here. Let me go back to my other questions. Oh, okay. What standout quality should a God-fearing woman look for in a man? God-fearing? That he's also God-fearing? I think that when it comes down to you know what I'll say honestly, y'all? I think for me now, I'm a little weary about the whole I'm God fearing off the jump, because sometimes men are coming at me that way because they know I'm God fearing. So they use it as an end to get to me. And and it's not real God fearing. So to me, it's like, I think that when you're dating a guy, I think it should be somebody that A, is very important, physically attracted to them. B, somebody that you feel like is actually physically attractive is not the first thing. That's men. Men think about physical attraction. I think it's about like what they got, like what is family? What's their family life like? What do they do? What kind of job do they have? Like, what are their aspirations? Where are their ambitions? Are they like-minded in the things that they want, what you want in life? Do they want to, what kind of, do they want a family? Do they want to get married? Do they want the same things that you want? Are they like-minded in a lot of those things? Do you guys have things in common? Do you guys, if you like to work out, does that person like to work out? If that person, well, if you like to eat, does that person like to eat? If you like to watch these shows, does this person like to watch these shows? Do you guys have things in common? So I think common interest is really big for me. Common interest is huge. Like having a lot of common interests, being like-minded, as far as like where you stand on certain things. And then, understanding like, okay, what is your background? Like, do you acknowledge God? Do you have a spiritual relationship with God? Are you atheist? Do you completely against God? Like I feel like that's, because I think sometimes men come in with the God thing and they're not really that God fearing, like then you see they walk and you're like, you kind of use that. That wasn't really real. So it's like you have to, I think it's just about getting to know people and understanding their character as a man. Like, who are you as a man? Like, what do you stand for? What is your moral code? How are you raised? Like that kind of thing. I think that's really, really important for me now. I think it's very, very important. I'm somebody that didn't, like come from the best background. So I've done a lot of therapy and things. I'm still not perfect. So I do like men that have a little bit of an edge to them, a little bit of an edge. But that doesn't necessarily mean that's the right way to go. So, but at the end of the day, that's what it is. So that's what I think I would look for. I don't know if that works for you. So I don't know if that's but stand out as a God fearing woman. It should be their relationship with God, and as well as great. When I say that their relationship with God, you should see it. They shouldn't just be talking about it. You should see it. You know what I'm saying? You should see the relationship. It shouldn't be like, oh, I'm talking about it, but there's nothing in their life that reflects it. Yes, I like edge, y'all. I do like edge. I do like edge. It's a problem. I do like edge. Mhm. I'm a little edgy. I'm not all crisp and clean. I got a few edges on me, but I'm redeemed. I love Jesus. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, nonetheless. How can I completely forgive and let go of the past emotional hurt from a family member? I would honestly say you don't forgive because they deserve it. You forgive because you deserve it. Forgiveness is not about what they did to you, whether it was right or was wrong. Forgiveness for me is a reflection of your relationship with God. God forgives you with the same metric that you forgive other people. I learned that from Michael Todd. So if that's the case, then you don't hold anything over anyone's head because you don't want God to hold anything over your head. So I'm not forgiving you because you deserve forgiveness. I'm forgiving you because I don't deserve forgiveness and God forgave me. And so I'm going to forgive this person and extend grace, even though I don't feel like they deserve it, because God has found me worthy. And I don't want to get anything in the way of my relationship with God. So this thing I can let go of because it's not worth my relationship with God. It's not worth it. That forgiveness is not worth it. So it's not about the other person or what they did or how they did it. It's about my relationship with God. And I'm not willing to compromise anything for my relationship with God. Anything. I'm not going to. So I'm going to forgive because God told me I must forgive, and I'm being obedient to him. And forgiveness means I am letting go and I am moving on. That doesn't mean you have to be all lovey-dovey and back in a friendship or relationship with people that are unhealthy and are hurting you. No, that's not what that is. It's just about the fact that you have let that go and you have let God. And a lot of times that it is a conversation with God. Like, you know what? I'm forgiving this person. I'm not necessarily going to tell them. I'm not going to necessarily have to tell them this, that, and the third, but I'm going to let them, I'm going to forgive because you called me to forgive. So out of obedience, I'm not going to hold on to this. I'm going to let it go. And that's how I've had to learn how to live my life. I was taught to hold on to stuff. I was taught to like, listen, you did me wrong. I'm never going to forgive you. I'm never going to let this go. Like I would hold it over your head forever. But I have learned that that is the opposite of what God has called me to be as a woman of God. So I have to let these things go. Why? Because he let those things go to forgive me and redeem me and change me and make me into somebody that I don't deserve to be. So that's what I would say in that situation, y'all. So let me not get into that, y'all, because I could get on my spiritual thing, on my spiritual stuff, and I don't wanna, do too much in my spiritual bag. I would love for you to relationships. I can tell you that, sis. Here's what I will say. Um, insecurities. Insecurities, we all have insecurities. Every single one of us has insecurities. Every single one of us. We all have insecurities. And the issue becomes is that we don't do our work, right? So we have insecurities. I have insecurities. You know, shoot. I mean, I can be open about one. I think about the fact that listen, I'm 31. I'm going through. I'm divorcing. I was married to somebody that people know. Like that's an insecurity. In my mind, that's a hard sell. That's an insecurity that I have. But I understand that I have had to do my work, and I've had to say like I still just, like that's not going to hold me back. Like God has obviously done is greater, is better, it is bigger than any plan that I have. And so I already know that he's got something on the other side. Like I might be stuck here and that's what the enemy wants me to believe, but I don't believe him. I'm not going to believe him because I already know the God that I serve, and he's bigger and better and beyond conventional wisdom. And so insecurities, my true security, when I became the most secure in my life was after I had my daughter. Why was I most secure after I had my daughter? Because I realized that my body could birth a human, right? My body birthed a human and bounced back. And I was like, wow, my body is this strong. And yet I'm able to birth a baby and come back and I'm like, you know what? Me being able to, I'm a bad man pajama. I done got pregnant. I didn't really have any issues with pregnancy. I went over term. I delivered at 41 weeks. I delivered a very healthy baby. I was able to breastfeed. My body's amazing. Okay. As a woman, I'm unstoppable. What are we talking about? What challenge am I actually facing? Like I was 195 when I gave birth to my daughter, 193, 195. I'm saying to myself, I was able to bounce back to 145 in 4, 5, 6 months. Oh, well, who is that? Okay. These little 5, 10 pounds, what does that matter? I birthed a baby, you know? And then I started saying to myself, you know what? I'm a bad man gym. I was able in my mind, I was able to do things in my life for my family, for my spouse at the time and things like that. I'm like, you know what? I bring so much to the table. Like I really do. I bring so much to the table. Like I'm actually like I'm smart. I'm calculated. I take care of myself. I feel like I'm beautiful. I feel like I got. Yes, I'm not perfect, but I feel like I love who I am. I love my shoulder. I love my arms. Love my. I started falling in love with aspects of myself because I started to appreciate what my body could do. I started seeing things from a different perspective. And where did that come from? That came from my relationship with God. I had to understand that I was watching a miracle happen in my body. I saw a baby, a seed. Like I found out I was pregnant very early on. I found out I was pregnant like at 5 or 6 weeks. We tried. I got pregnant immediately. And when I got pregnant, I was like, oh my gosh, my baby, like I started from this And I could see my child go all the way to the end. And now she's over here running around telling me what she want to do and how she want to do it. And then I had to say to myself, wow, God, I saw a miracle happen. I know you're real. And there was something about me going through that process and watching other women go through that process to say, like, there's a God out here. We keep acting like there isn't one. But how are we the same person to go through the same situation? We don't all look the same. We don't act the same. We don't think the same. We all have different souls and different spirits within us. That's undeniable. There is no other Sam in this world. There's only one Sam. There's only one me. Just like there's only one Clarice. There's like there's only one Jaleesa. There's like there's only one Sia. There's only one Naja and Sharon and Bashir. There's only one of us. And so there's got to be a creator behind all of this. And me understanding that there is only one me and I'm unique in what I do and who I am, I realize that I should be secure with me. Like, I shouldn't tolerate that. I shouldn't do this. I started seeing the worth. God started revealing how perfect I am, how he created me. I started falling in love with him. And he started showing me like who I am and what I'm about and what I got going on. He started making me feel so secure with me. He started making me feel his love. And I started understanding exactly what I was worth and that I didn't deserve less than that. And so that my securities, I became the most secure was after I saw that. That's what happened. After I saw that happen, after I started seeing myself for who I was and started understanding who I was in God and what he created me and what he kept inside of me, when I started like meeting people and started like opening up about who I am and where I come from and things like that, I started seeing the beauty of how God created me. And when he revealed to me that, and when I started like understanding how much he loved me, I started becoming very secure because the creator of the universe loves me. Creator of the universe, love him some Sam now. He know I'm crazy. He know I got some edge. But man, God loves me. And he keep pursuing me. And he keeps coming after me. And he keeps choosing to love me. And so me understanding that made me understand my worth. And my security came from not like anything else, but understanding that God's love for me. God's love for me is what made me more secure about me. And understanding that he could love me with all that I came with all the baggage, all the scars, I ain't gonna lie, all the bullshit that I come with, all the anger and the misguidedness and the feisty and the fighting and all the different things that I came with. He loved me. He loved me. And he chose me. And he continued to choose me. And so I found my security in that. Versus man and people. People are fickle, man. People go up and down. So one day you cute, the next day you just look like everybody else. But there's a God that always sees the worth and the beauty in who he created. Yeah. Yeah. That's where I got secure. And so I think once you understand what God thinks about you and how perfect you are to him, whether you're perfect to you, but you're perfect to him, and you start loving yourself and you start seeing yourself like, I'm a bad chick. You got to start talking about the message that you say to yourself, like, you know what? I'm that chick. You know what? I did that. You know, my legs look good here. You know what? I'm kind of bad right here. You know what? I started talking to myself. I started feeding myself, y'all. I started complimenting myself. I don't need nobody to compliment me. I started loving myself and understanding, like, once I started loving me and loving the things that came with me, I used to hate my thighs. I used to hate my thighs, y'all. I hated them. I started coming to a place, you know what? I like these thick old thighs. You know what? They have character. They give me something that not everybody else has, you know? I like the little scars I have from Steven Johnson syndrome. It reminds me that all this stuff can be taken away. That sewing into your beauty is nothing. That wastes away. But sowing into your soul, that's lifelong. That's character. And so I started like in building things up about myself, about my character, about who I am as a woman, not on the external, because y'all, external fades. Your security, sometimes we rely too much upon the external. We put our security and what we think about ourselves on how we look, and how we look ain't what we worth. That's a lie that the devil is telling. Your looks have nothing to do with your worth. What do you bring to the table as a woman? Who are you as a woman? How do you show up as a woman? What is your character like? When you come into a home and you decide you want to be somebody's husband or somebody's wife, what are you bringing into that home? How are you changing that atmosphere? When you leave that home, does that man say, whoa, hold up, what just left? Or is he like, whoo, you know what? I could get X, Y, and Z all handled by somebody else. No. Can't nobody do you better than you, sis. Can't nobody be you better than you, sis. Can't nobody make that house better than you, sis. You got to start talking over yourself. You got to start speaking over yourself. You got to start filling yourself up so no other person can come into your life or come out of your life and make you feel less than because they ain't there. Forget them. Guess what? Forget them. Forget them. Forget them. You know why? Because there's going to be somebody that ain't dumb enough to let this go. And know that. Know that about yourselves. Speak over yourself. Know your worth. Know your worth. Ain't nobody Diggy's mom. Ain't nobody Melody. Ain't nobody Jay. Ain't nobody Sia. Ain't nobody April. Ain't nobody you. That's your superpower. That's your superpower. And don't let nobody, I don't care what you got going on. I don't care if you feel like you overweight. I don't care if you feel like you got too big of arms, too big of legs, too big of butt, too big of this, too big of that. I don't care what that is. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's perfect. It's exactly the way God wanted you to be. And there's a reason for it. But don't allow that external to make you feel any less than on the internal. Because it's not true. That's a lie. It's a lie that the enemy's telling. And I'm about to dispel this lie. I'm about to dispel this lie. You the apple of his eye. You are his perfect workmanship. Whether you lose the 10 pounds or not, you his perfect workmanship. Whether you go on a diet or not, you his perfect workmanship. That's the problem, y'all. Too many of y'all women these days, I'm telling you, y'all are so worried about the external, not understanding that will fade. That will fade. That doesn't matter. That shit doesn't matter. It doesn't. When you get into a relationship or a marriage or anything like that, you think you being cute is going to keep a marriage together? Heck no. You think you being cute is going to get the bills paid? Heck no. You think that you being cute is going to raise some kids? Heck no. That's not what's going to do it. We've got to start building character. Don't sell your soul for external, y'all. It ain't worth it. It's about to fade. It's about to fade. It's about to fade. The external fades, y'all. Whether you know it or not, we all get old. We all start slipping. Well, Sam ain't gonna slip. Sam ain't never gonna slip. But we all do slip a little bit. A little bit. But at the end of the day, you guys are beautiful. You guys don't allow your external to determine your worth, and don't allow anybody to make you feel like your external is all that matters. To God, your internal is what matters. And that's where I became secure, because my internal is unmatched. Your external will always change, but my internal is unmatched. My internal, my heart, my character is unmatched. I'm a little rough around the edges, but my internal is unmatched. And so don't allow yourselves to believe the lies that the society tells us, that we're only, as women, we're only as good as how good we look. That's bullshit. That's a lie from the enemy. Your looks don't matter. Not in heavenly realm at all. It don't matter. I don't care what you look like. I don't care what you look like. Anyway, nonetheless, let me move on to the next question. Oh, Mm. Would I ever consider becoming a bodybuilder? No. Okay. If your fiance died just before you were supposed to be married, how long should you wait before you move on? Or should I hold on to the hopes of seeing him in heaven to be a family again? Wow, this is a deep question. This is a deep question. If your fiance died just before you were supposed to be married, how long should you wait before you move on? Or should I just hold on to the hopes of seeing him in heaven to be a family again? Well, sis, there's a big in between here. Okay. So what you're saying at first is the first thing you're saying is, okay, should I wait until like should I date now? Or should I wait till I die? Those are two extremes. Okay. I think that there's a certain level of healing that needs to happen. I definitely think that there's a certain level of going, you know me, I'm a therapist. I go to therapy. There's a certain level of therapy that needs to happen. There's a certain level of healing that needs to happen. If you talk about your ex and you still have tears and emotions about them, you're not over them. You understand that? You're not over it yet. So the reality is you have to come to a place of acceptance. You have to come to a place of, in fact, let me, some of y'all are Ready to Love fans. Now, I know y'all saw that last episode where old boy, and I'm not saying old boy because he's old. He's not old, okay? I'm just saying because I'm Southern. But on the show, he's talking about his ex. As soon as he talks about his ex, he talks about how she left him. And he breaks down into tears instantaneously, like immediately breaks down into tears and talks about how she left him and he never wants anybody to leave him like that again. That to me is a red flag. That means you haven't done your work. You're still stuck on the past relationship. You still have not done your work in that situation. And men, unfortunately, are a little bit, they like to move on. They don't like to do their work. Okay. That's just how men are. They like to, and they always go back. They always go back, but they never do their work. So they're always going back to their last situation because they never do their work. They just move on and then they realize they're not over it and then try again. So that's what men do. But what I would say is, even in regards to the man on Ready to Love, you're not ready to love. You haven't done your work yet. You're still stuck on something that happened in the past. If something in the past that has happened to you and you're still emotional about it, you've got to do your work. So what I would say is, I'm not saying to never get married again. I'm not saying to never move on again. What I am saying is do your work before moving on. Do your work before moving on. Your healing is your responsibility. So if somebody, which is tragic, if somebody had died before you're supposed to marry them, that's tragic. That's traumatic. That is traumatic. It's one thing for somebody to leave you and they still alive. It's another thing for someone to have died before you had the opportunity to marry them. That's a whole nother animal. So you have to do your work. That is trauma. Trauma. Oh, yes, so true, sis. All dogs come home. All of them. I don't care what they say. All dogs come home. Mm-hmm. Oh, y'all trying to get me into these other questions, y'all. I could tell you. And y'all gonna have me here all night. We already at an hour, y'all. But I would honestly say, do your work, sis. Do your work. I'm not saying you have to be forever single, but I am saying do your work. Don't jump into nothing else. Okay? Don't jump into nothing else. Don't jump into nothing else before you're ready. I was her. You need to be my therapist. My situation is so hard and long to text. It's actually consuming me, and I need to have the strength because my 2 kids. But man, he has control and power over me. Well, like in this situation, y'all, I don't have enough information. But what I can tell you is that when a man has power and control, he only has as much power as you allow him to have, right? A man has as much power as you allow him to have. I don't care if it's, financial. I don't care what it is. It's only as much power as you allow him to have. You have 2 kids. I understand that. But if it's somebody that's mistreating you and using power and control to abuse you, then you have to make a decision, and you have to draw a line in the sand, and you have to make hard decisions. Those hard decisions may not have you in the same position, but it may have you in a free position. It may have you at peace. And so you have to decide what's more important to you, a lifestyle or peace. And sometimes people choose peace, and sometimes people choose a lifestyle. That's up to you. But what I will say is, no one has power and control without you giving them permission to have that power and control first. No one. You allow them to have that. And you can take that power away if you want to. The only person, I mean, I don't, and here's the thing, I believe in healthy submission in marriage. I really do. I believe in a woman submitting to her husband. I believe in a man controlling the household and making the decisions, and we come together and make decisions. That is how I conducted my marriage. Very much was about my spouse making decisions, and we would converse. He trusted me as a helpmate in the sense of conversing about certain things. We would talk about things. He valued my opinion, but ultimately, if he made a decision, I would ultimately respect that. And so I believe about that in a marriage. I really do believe about that in a marriage. You have to, there's a healthy submission, and then there's unhealthy. And then there's unhealthy. And I will not advocate for unhealthy, because unhealthy is abuse. It's unhealthy. So, oh, my baby good. Okay, so I see that somebody said that they wrote me something else. Okay, so I'm going to go and look at this next post. I think somebody said, okay, I have a question. Okay. I'm still in love with my first baby daddy, and he is as well, but he's not emotionally ready for a relationship, but he doesn't want me to be with anybody else. What should I do? Move on. Move on. Girl, love ain't lit. Okay. I've gotten to a place in my life, and I'm going to be honest with y'all. Feelings are not going to be the determining factor for anything. I could love you. I could be in love with you, but I'm not going to make any decision based upon a feeling, because feelings change. But if somebody is not ready for a relationship and they want you to wait around until they're ready for one, you have to make a decision. Is there anything that's holding you back on your end? Is there things that you're like, you know what, I could actually wait? There's other extenuating factors. I don't have right now. If you're okay with waiting, if you're not okay with waiting, then don't. You have to make an executive decision in your life, okay? You are in control of what you decide to do. He made a decision. He's telling you, I'm not emotionally ready. You now have to make the decision next. Am I going to wait on him because I'm in love with him? Because if he's in love with you, I don't see why he's not emotionally ready for a relationship, because he sounds like he's emotionally ready if he's in love with you, right? That is what would make sense. But if he's not in love with you, or he still want to play in the streets, well, then at this point in time, because I don't really know why a man wouldn't want to be in a relationship unless he's not doing his work, or he's doing his work. There's not a lot of men that do their work. So I'm kind of hesitant to think that he's doing his work. I think he's doing his thing. Okay. I don't know, doing his work or doing his thing. I hope you heard that. So in my opinion, if that's the situation and he's not ready to commit to you, then you have to then make an executive decision on what you are willing to wait on or not wait on. If you're not willing to wait on it, don't wait on it. Listen, let me tell you something. They say time is money. Time is more precious than money, because you don't know how much time you have, but you can always get more money. You can never increase the amount of time you have on this planet. So to decide to wait on somebody is taking up time on your expiration calendar or expiration clock, and you're making a decision to wait on somebody on your expiration clock. Is that person worth you waiting on your expiration clock? Is there things that you could be doing on the other side? Or are you ready for a relationship and you're willing to compromise because of him? Now you have to make a decision. You have to make a decision. Life is entirely, Melody, you absolutely right. Life is entirely too short to wait on someone who is emotionally unavailable. If you're emotionally unavailable, I am emotionally unavailable, and I'm looking for an emotionally available partner. So guess what? I ain't waiting on you. I will break my own heart, but I'm going to move on. I'm going to move on. Because let me tell you something. Hearts break and they get back together. Hearts break, feelings break, they get back together. Hearts break, feelings break, they get back together. It is what it is. Heartbreak is part of the process. It hurts. It does hurt. I understand it. I've been through heartbreak a lot of times. I understand it. I've been heartbroken a lot. Okay, so at the end of the day, it hasn't killed me yet. I haven't died yet from heartbreak. I've been sick. I've had times where I haven't eaten. What else? My thoughts go back to this person. But I'm not dead. I'm alive and I got time. So what I would say is you have to, you got to make executive decisions in your life. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't wait, because maybe you waiting is the right decision to make. I don't know. You got to really seek within yourself what you decide you want to do. But it sounds like you're ready and sounds like he's not. So in that situation, there are two major differences here. Maybe you could say, okay, I'll wait on a month. I'll give him 30 more days. I'll give him 2 months. I'll give him 3 months. And then you call it a day. But the more time you put into somebody, the more investment you put into somebody, the harder it is to leave them. And with men, it's not quite like that. They don't work quite the same. Men can play with you all day long. They can play with you for years and still not have no real intention for you. Because they work different. Their minds are different. Their spirits are different. They're different than us in a lot of ways. So you've got to make an executive decision. Am I going to wait? Is this worth me waiting? Or am I going to stay in the situation, wait on him, and I'm okay with that? And if I'm okay with that, I can't complain about that. If I decide to stay in something, and I have to explain this and I'm going to get off, y'all. But if I'm saying that I'm okay with that, if I say, listen, I'm okay with you with waiting, that doesn't mean that I hold it over his head every day that I'm waiting, because I made the choice to wait. Just like forgiveness. If I forgive you, that means I forgive you. That doesn't mean I continue to hold it over your head of what you did. I forgive you. So at the end of the day, y'all, when you make a decision to be in something, you hold the responsibility of that. You don't make him feel bad for making you wait for a relationship when he told you he's not ready for one. You then make an executive decision if you're going to wait or not. If you're going to wait, wait peacefully. If you're not going to wait, then move on. Cut it off now. Let it go now. Let it be what it is now. That way you can heal and then move on, instead of waiting on somebody that you already have a child with and he's still not ready for no relationship. You see what I'm saying? I'm gonna wait and see if other people have different opinions than me, because maybe y'all hear my opinion all day long, well, for an hour. But let me hear what somebody else. Nas says she agrees with it. Don't block your blessings, somebody else says. What else? I want to hear what y'all have to say. Somebody got a name called Fluttering Leaves. I like that. Fluttering Leaves. Fluttering Leaves. So what, did anybody else got something to say to that? If the man is not ready for a relationship, then you will find a man who wants to be in a relationship. I feel like give him an ultimatum. That way you know for sure, and not waiting. And you got a child and he says he's ain't ready for a relationship, but he's ready for a baby. It's time to go. I agree. He's playing games. Y'all, I don't believe in ultimatums. I don't. I think an ultimatum is manipulation. If somebody is making a decision that they don't want to do something, I'm not going to give you an ultimatum. Either you do it, you did it, or you haven't. I'm not going to give you an ultimatum, because now you're doing it for me not to leave or whatever, but you never made a decision to do it before this. And I've been asking you about this before this. So if you decide you're not going to do it, and I've been asking you a million times to do it and you haven't, then I already know what it is. I already know what it is. I already know that you're not really interested in doing what I'm asking you to do. You've shown me that over and over again. You've shown me that. So with me seeing that you don't want to do what I'm asking you to do, then I just got to make an executive decision. Either I'm going to continue to deal with it or not. I don't necessarily agree with the ultimatum thing. That's just me. Y'all can feel differently. I just think that if somebody doesn't want to do something, they haven't shown you that they're going to do it, then why would I give you another opportunity to show me that you're gonna do it and then not do it? Because you're not gonna stick to it, because I gave you an ultimatum. So now you're doing it because I told you to do it in this. Somebody just wrote something deep. Somebody just wrote something deep. Yelenis, Indecision is a decision. Oh, that's so good. Yes, Yelenis, I need to pass your offering places. Indecision is a decision. Indecision is a decision. Indecision is a decision. Hi, person from Saudi Arabia. But indecision is a decision. That's deep, but it's true. Indecision, somebody not doing what you asking them to do, that's a decision. Indecision is a decision. And it can get you cut off on the right day. But indecision is a decision, y'all. It's a decision. So make the right decisions now, y'all. Make the right decision. Indecision is a decision. Okay, y'all. So anyway, I love y'all. It has now been an hour and 15 minutes. And you guys, you know this is always so much fun for me. I love y'all. It's episode number 10. Number 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. I can't believe I've been doing this for 10 weeks. I can't believe y'all have tuned in for 10 weeks. And I can't believe this YouTube channel has changed and it has grown like this. I'm so blessed. I'm so honored. And I love y'all so much for continuing to tune in. I know it's going to continue to grow. I know it's going to continue to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And I'm so excited for it. But I thank you guys. I love y'all. And I thank you for your support. And I will see you next Thursday. Next Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern for I Was Her, episode 11. 11 is a good number, y'all. Episode 11. Tune in. Okay? Love y'all. Have a good night.